This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. You. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Owandi. Today, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk to somebody, get back to my roots, my first love, which is sports. Since all this COVID-19 shit is going on, sports has been taken away from us. I haven't been to the gym in a minute. Haven't picked up the basketball in a minute. So, and then The Last Dance just ended. So, I'm saying that touched my soul because I was a very, very big Michael Jordan fan, Bulls fanatic. And so to sit down and talk to me about that issue, we have one of Oakland's finest. He was an ex-football player, ex-disc jockey, ex-baseball player. Yeah. Nigga used to throw dice. You know what I'm saying? All-American. Jino, welcome to the show.
Yeah, what's up? Glad to be here, man.
Now, Jino, you're not from Oakland, right? You from Cleveland?
No, I'm actually from Houston.
From Houston.
Yeah, I'm from Houston. Moved out here when I was in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And then I went through all my grade school and everything out here. And then I ended up going to college in University of Akron in Ohio. And
so that's why you
I'm a LeBron fan.
Yeah,
I'm a LeBron fan.
Because I always see you with that fucking, is that a Chicago Bears hat or a Cleveland hat that I always see you wear?
No, I got a Chicago White Sox hat.
Okay.
Got White Sox, got Cleveland. I don't know. I fell in love with the Midwest early on. I used to watch a lot of documentaries, a lot of NFL films, inside the NBA, all that stuff. Uh-huh. So I just fell in love with Midwest teams. They just seemed like they just, it resonated with me. Like it's the passion of the fan base, just the history, all that stuff. So, and then when I moved to Ohio, in my favorite team of all time is my favorite school is Ohio State. So that was one of my main reasons for traveling out there, getting close to it. I just love Buckeye football. Yeah, and then you get out there and you realize, damn, man, these people are real diehards. Like Cleveland Browns trash. And they rocking Cleveland shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you look up and they have on straight up Cleveland Cavalier gear before LeBron with Darius Miles and Wagner and
back in the day, the Cavaliers used to be good.
Yeah. With Price and and all them and Daugherty and they were pretty good.
So football is your first sport?
Football is actually my best sport. My first sport was baseball.
When you say best, I mean, like the sport that you're good at?
That was a sport that I ended up taking off with. Baseball was my best sport in my opinion. But coming up in Oakland, we all played baseball.
In Oakland?
In Oakland. Oakland was like the hub for baseball. We was beating.
Fuck out of here, nigga.
Oakland was in the
niggas ain't playing baseball.
In the early 90s, you go over there, right there on 66 and E14, right there behind Havens Court, right by the village. We got
niggas just playing baseball.
Greenman Field. If you from Oakland, you got a pitcher. You walk down Havens Court from Concordia, that's what you did. We played baseball from age 8 to age 15. And then one time you got to high school, you figured it out. But most of us quit by the time we got to high school or we started playing other sports.
You didn't play baseball in high school?
Baseball in high school coming up in Oakland, we didn't play for the NCS or stuff like that. We would only play for the city. So once Skyline or Tech was the best schools.
Yeah.
That had baseball programs. So
Yeah, because baseball, you got to have money. All that equipment, all that
bullshit. Once
Once
we knew that we were out of contention, it was like the season was over. Like we couldn't make it to the playoffs. All we could do was just play for the city, and then once you win that, you would play a school in San Francisco. Like nobody played. Nobody cared about that shit.
Yeah.
But basketball, you was able to go play NCS. Football was the same way. You couldn't play for the NCS and football. They didn't even let us have night games back in the day.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Fremont High School.
Fremont?
Yeah.
Was Fremont, because I know Fremont now there's a shit ton of Middle Eastern motherfuckers because all the tech world and shit.
It is. I ain't been back since I graduated.
Out there. So when you were going to school there.
No. You think about Fremont in Fremont. I'm talking, it's Fremont in Oakland.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, it's off High Street.
I didn't know that.
See?
That's the name of the school?
It's called John C. Fremont High School.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Fremont, like the city Fremont.
Nah, I was like, hold on, it's nothing but Mexicans, bro. You got Mexicans, you got Samoans, Pacific Islanders, and then you got us. So that's basically like who went to Fremont? Too Short went to Fremont. Filthy Rich went to Fremont.
When you were at Fremont?
Filthy Rich went to Fremont when I was there. Yeah, he was a little homie. I think.
So you knew that nigga?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know Phil, but they all from seminary. Seminary is like maybe like 20 blocks from the school.
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying? So, it was seminary. You got the 50s. You got the, storefront for all them over there. So that's pretty much I went to Fremont. And then whoever lived above MacArthur in the area went to Skyline. Anybody lived above MacArthur went to Skyline.
Did y'all ever have like beefs with other schools?
Hell yeah.
Like you have beef with Castlemont?
I mean, that was really more so in middle school. Because by the time you got to high school, it's kind of everybody kind of knew each other. Everybody kind of knew the ones who was really down with who was really ready to, get down.
Yeah.
But McClymonds right around the corner. Right? McClymonds has always been that's why they wear Halloween colors, bro. They was the scariest school out there because they would lock your ass in the gym. If you beat them, they gonna beat you up. If you lose without any dignity, they gonna beat you up like they would. Yeah. OGs, man, it was crazy. McClymonds was one of those schools. Yeah.
Name what was a famous person who played sports at Fremont?
The most famous person to play sports at Fremont. Oh shit, I don't even know. I think me and my brothers, we kind of came out of there. That's what, like with this generation, they know of us. But like we had like Lou Fisher, who was pretty good, who played in 95, quarterback for Fremont. We have what's my guy name? Played basketball. He's a little older than I was, but dang, I can't remember his name. Frank Knight, one of the legends. He coached now. I forget what school he coached for now, but like them. I mean, but it's not a law. I don't think there's anybody that went to Fremont that I can remember who was like that good. I think of like maybe Kurt Flood or something, like some old school person like that.
Were you guys known for what sport were you guys mostly known for?
Basketball, football.
Basketball, football.
Yeah, basketball, football. We won state in '99. We lost. If you ever watch the movie Coach Carter, that year was based on the year that we had to forfeit a lot of games. One of the players ended up getting into a fight with the coach, and we had.
Was Coach Carter based on Fremont High School?
No, it was based on Richmond High School, but they were trash. We used to beat their ass. Like it was so. But it was just like one of the scenes. They had to cancel the game. It was against us. It was against us. That's why I say like it was around that era when. But the year before that, I think the '96 year, '97 year, we ended up losing in state again. So we went state, won the OAL, lost, came back, lost in the NorCal semifinals, forfeit, then won the championship. So Fremont was cool. Mac was good. Skyline had ballers. Ohio back in the day, man, like you couldn't just be some. Some little cat just trying to play hoop. Like hoop was like real. Like we fighting afterwards. Like we fighting, teammates fighting. Coaches gonna beat your ass. Like
I remember fucking because I did my senior year at Castlemont.
What year you graduated?
2001.
Dang, so you was up there with Who's up there with
Only did 1 year though. When I came from
he was
the
up
East
there
Coast.
with Keith and them, huh? Yeah, with Keith.
Keith, yep. He was on the team.
Yeah. You play basketball at Casablanca?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was the star of the team.
I didn't even know you played
Niggas
basketball.
was hating on me because I was new.
You was new. Yeah. 'Cause that's one thing about East Oakland, bro. Like, you can't just come in there just no new person and just try to think you run.
And then
shit.
I walked in there like, you know what I'm saying, because it came from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then they was looking at me all crazy.
He was out of state too.
And so fucking we played Tech. We played Tech for the OAL championship. Leon Poe. And then they had that one dude, that freshman that went to North Carolina.
Q.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had to beat them. We had to beat them twice. They only had to beat us once.
Y'all was that team that had all the little y'all won that year, right? That was or the year after y'all.
Tech won that year.
Okay, because I went one time when y'all ended up winning the OAL championship. It was like you only had like 8 people on the damn team.
Yeah, it wasn't that year. Fucking we so we had that game. We had that championship game at the what's that building by
Henry J. Kaiser?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That big huge ass building.
By Laney, right?
Yeah. So we beat them the first game, right? And then we had to play them again.
Because y'all was a lower seed.
Yeah. And they only had to beat us once. So the second game they beat us, nigga, after that game, nigga, it was like the biggest riot outside that fucking place. That shit was crazy. I was like, God damn, niggas is like,
Who's y'all center? I'm trying to figure out. Was Rod?
Rod, yeah.
Rod was your center?
Yeah, Rod was I forgot, he was suspended or something. He didn't play both games. He came back I think he played I don't know if it was the first game
CG
or the...
He was on there too, huh?
CG?
Chris Green.
I don't know.
I like this CG.
That shit was so long ago.
I'm saying like...
Man, you know who Man is?
Yeah, I know Man. I'm like, because that's why...
He was the starting point guard.
Yeah, we grew up them, like, Castlemont was full of nothing but like Brookfield, Stonehurst, Elmhurst, like all that, like, all that in that area. Basically from 73rd all the way to the rest of East Oakland. Mm-hmm. So you got all them. But the problem with Castlemont is that nobody went to school. Nobody cared about school.
Hell no. Everybody used to, because it was an open campus. You could just walk on and off the campus and shit.
As much as Miss Jeffries preached to y'all, okay? As much as Miss Jeffries and Miss Odom, they preached
Miss Odom, yeah. Miss Stoneham, I think her name was. She had a fat ass too. You know who that was? Young black teacher with a fucking fat ass. Everybody used to stare at her.
Nah, because
Miss Flanagan.
Because Miss Odom and Miss Jeffrey, they taught me in middle school. We all we're at King Estate. So when they got that job over there, I always made sure I used to come to y'all school all the time. I think about it.
Yeah, that school was crazy. They always had riots with the black people fighting the Samoans.
Yeah.
It was always them niggas fighting.
You had Lloyd.
Yeah.
Lloyd was...
they used to have that fucking little store across the street in the joint. And everybody used to fucking chill in front of that ditch school and shit.
And they didn't... I
was the only nigga going to school every day.
That's weird.
Good ass grades, too.
They like, you here again today? Well, you really trying to learn, huh? You think you gonna do something?
Yeah.
They look at you like, it's Castlemont, man. Teacher gonna pass you anyway.
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2000.
2000?
So I was a year right before y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm well versed. I already know everybody in that class. But yeah, that's the year. I think Tech won it that year again because we had just came off the 99 year winning the OEL, and our team was gone. Like we didn't have nobody else. Like our team was horrible.
I wanted to go to El Cerrito High School because I used to hoop with all them niggas at the Hilltop YMCA, and them niggas was raw.
Yeah,
I thought they was raw as fuck. See, that's why I wanted to go to that school.
That's the thing. Back in the day, you couldn't be from Oakland all the way in Richmond. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so if you got a pass because you was from Philly, so you can always say you was from Philadelphia and shit. Like, but if you was from Oakland and Richmond, you was gonna get tested at some point.
Yeah. So so after high school, you went to what college again?
So after high school,
did you go straight to college?
No. After high school, I enrolled in Laney College. I did 1 year at Laney.
In football?
In football.
Okay. What was your position?
A running back. And then I realized that I was stronger than all my damn linemen. They was trash. I love them though. But and then I ended up switching to defense. But then shortly after that,
what was you doing on defense?
Cornerback and safety. Yeah. And then I ended up I enlisted into the military because I felt like I had no discipline. Come out Oakland, like I couldn't even.
Nigga, I was in the military too, man.
So this is the real shit. I ain't gonna lie.
You got kicked out then?
No. The real shit that happened. The real shit that happened to me. I ain't gonna lie. This is what happened. They ended up giving me 2 financial aid checks, right? So if I barely even had $700 in my pocket at a time, now they give me, I got 10 bands.
Oh, 2 checks equal 10 bands?
2 $7,000 checks.
Oh, okay, damn.
And I'm like, I had 2 night classes. I don't think I went back to a night class ever again. I barely even went to school. So then after a while, I felt like I was messing up again. So I gave myself a red shirt year. I was like, I'm a red shirt myself because I need to get some discipline. I started working at the UPS at the Oakland airport.
So wait a minute, you ended up not going into the military?
No, and then that summer, this is 2001. This is summer of 2001. I ended up meeting a recruiter at Eastmont Mall. Ended up asking me how would I like to make $500 a month, only working 2 days out the month. Mind you, I'm slaving my ass off at UPS, all them boxes and shit. And
$500 a what?
A month. For only working 2. Mind you, this is.
So what he was talking about the reserves or something?
This is the reserves.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he hit me with the
reserves.
reserves.
Make way more than that in real month.
But I'm not tripping. I'm like, I ain't trying to fight no wars. The only war I knew about was Desert Storm because September 11th hadn't happened yet. So I'm like, man, I ain't trying to fight. He's like, I'm an accountant. I'm about to retire. So he hooked me up. I ended up being an automated logistics specialist, 92 Alpha, which is basically a supply person.
This is the Army?
It's the military. September 11th happened. I'm already ready to go to basic training. I do my training, come back, and then I end up going back to Laney. And from then on, I was just like, I was sharp as a tack, bro. Like that's how I was able to kind of like get myself in order and be able to.
So you was in the reserves?
I was in the reserves.
Yeah, okay.
Stationed out of Mountain View.
You didn't want to go to like be full time?
Hell no. I didn't like the uniform. I didn't like the BDU. I didn't like the Class A's. I ain't like nothing about the military but the GI Bill.
Yeah, you can use. Were you using it?
Hell no, because I ended up getting a scholarship to go to.
You can still use it though, right?
I know. No, I can't use it anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, you could, nigga. That shit don't run out.
I don't know.
Check on that. And I think you can get. Yeah, you don't think you can get a VA loan?
No, I can't get none of that. Yeah. I think I might be able to use a GI Bill though, but
yeah, because if you don't use it, your kids can use it.
Kids can use it. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell them that they need to go get a scholarship.
What did you blow the financial aid on?
Bitches.
It's like a Oakland nigga.
Man, we was at TGI Fridays. Man, I would think any female that was willing, because I didn't have a car, so any female that drove that was willing to go out with me, I was tricking.
Buying hella ribs and fries,
man, Hella ribs, fries, movies, man. I was good. It was crazy.
Didn't save none of it?
Didn't save. Save? What? I had Jabos, some Steve Maddens, man. You know them Steve Madden. I was at the club. I think I had a fake ID.
Up in Mingles?
Was I at Mingles? Mingles, you didn't even need no ID to get into Mingles.
Yeah, Mingles. Yeah, I went to Mingles like twice my whole life.
Yeah, I used to always go to Mingles. This was like, I was trying to get into the Oak Tree with the old heads. Because the Raiders is in there. You was trying to be a run boy for them for some coke or some shit. We like, nigga, I just made it.
So when you were done at Laney, right?
Yeah.
That's when you went to
Akron.
Akron?
Yeah.
Now, how was that transition when you first arrived?
It was a little weird at first. But the reason why, so initially,
were you like homesick?
No. I was supposed to go to San Jose State. Me and all my brothers were supposed to go to San Jose State. So me and my brothers, it was 4 of us. And my younger brothers ended up going to McClymonds. They finally beat Skyline, good in football, so they had the buzz. They was a nigga. Yeah. And we was all supposed to go to San Jose State. Somehow, some way, they wanted me to use GI Bill. My brother flunked out. Everything just didn't go to part. I found myself with no scholarship. Again, somebody called me that went to Mac. He was a grad assistant over there. Said that they had a scholarship for me. I went out there recruiting trip.
How did they find you? Just like
no, from the person that went to Laney and went to McClymonds. He was a grad assistant out there. Yeah, one of my homies, big homies, and he was just like, bro, we see that you didn't sign with nobody. Coach really like you. What's going on? Like, you signed with someone?
Mm.
So
is this a D1 college?
This is a D1 college. So at the time they had Ben Roethlisberger was in the conference. You had Ahmad Bradshaw that played for the Giants. You had Byron Leftwich. If you ever think about his college game when he got carried, when they was carrying him on the 2-minute drill down the field, yeah, that was against us. And then who else? It was Brandon Marshall. I remember playing against him. You know, it was the MAC. So it was one of those like conferences where they just pushed everybody together, all these brand new D1 schools. But that shit, it was lit though. You were being Virginia one game, you being Illinois another game.
Was you the starting? I mean, were you running back when you went there?
No, I played defensive back at that point. I played defensive back my first year. So because I went to the military, I had to go to summer school. I got to camp late. I didn't do the camp. So then they just had me play the nickelback. It was cool. It was fun because I played my first game like a week after I showed up to camp, you know? So it was I just kind of already just got right into it. And then that's when LeBron's first year on the Cavs. So it was kind of like, you know, it's like I was there. New. Now I see all this new buzz that was going on.
Did you go to any of the games?
I don't know. I didn't go to no games.
No.
Cleveland to Akron was like here, maybe Vacaville or some shit. You know,
okay.
Like, if you ain't got no car, how you go get there?
So what was life like at the school?
It's just hella. It was just hella girls. It's weird because it's like, you know, out here because it's
bunch of like white bitches.
It was white girls. It's Ohio. It's the Midwest. So you have black inner city, white white suburbs. So when they get to school, it's kind of like the blacks stay with the blacks, the whites stay with the whites. And you have a few that, you know, kind of cross over. But for the most part, you know, this was a lot of the white people's first time dealing with black people.
Yeah.
And black people kind of understanding how white people were anyway. But it felt real Southern, you know, it felt real Southern. Like all the girls from Cleveland, shit, they used to always talk with their little twang.
Did you experience any racism? No, no white bitches like said nigger to you or something?
No, hell no. It's weird because when you play sports, you don't get that. Like you the man, like you travel with the team? Yeah. Oh, like I was getting hella ass, bro. I was getting so much. It didn't matter. Like I didn't even know who half these people were. This when Facebook first came out. So I'm having like 10,000 friends on Facebook, all people from the school that I don't even know. Right? Just because I played on the team. Yeah. You know, you just hand out a wristband. It was literally like you hand out a wristband, you hand out like, you know, those little rubber little bands that used to be that we used to wear on our wrist back in the day. You used to make sure you ain't got nothing on because, you know.
I used to wear them motherfuckers. You talking about them Lance Armstrong?
Livestrong ones? Yeah, we would have
them shit.
We would have our school ones on. Yeah, and then, and that's, you was the man when you're on campus. And then soon as football was over, it was on to the basketball dudes. They were the ones that was cool.
Is it true that you know how when you're on a football team and then you have those little those girls, right, who like equipment managers or whatever, who run and like spray the water in the mouths on the huddles and shit? You know what I'm talking about? Is it true y'all niggas be fucking them hoes?
You gotta understand, you just trying to fuck anybody that's around, right? Because really in your mind, you around dudes. When you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, you go to either film or weightlifting, right? Then you go to like a study table. Then you go to your class. Yeah. And then you go back to like another film or weightlifting. And then 2 o'clock come, you go to practice for a couple hours and you leave from there. And then you go to chow. You just trying to get in any way you can. Now you around you over there lifting weights. You got all this testosterone. You like, I'm trying to pound on something. So sometimes they were the only ones, you know, you didn't care. She could look like a loaf of bread, bro. You was just trying to get your issue in. And most of us had like girlfriends. Most of them had like girlfriends. I ain't had no girlfriend, so it didn't matter with me. And I was from out of town, so it was a little easier for me because I had no allegiance to anybody. So. Was
there anybody on the team from Oakland besides you?
Yeah, my boy Goose, Dwayne. He was from Oakland. He actually went to McClymonds.
Were y'all like the closest?
Hell no. We was cool though. You know, we were cool. But he was part of the this crew that had been there for a long time, that since freshman. So he was already kind of like part of that. They all lived together. Me, I lived with some freshman dude that was down the street. His dad used to.
Oh, so they don't have like a fucking house for the football team?
No,
house for the basketball team?
So because they were juniors and seniors, they didn't have to live on campus.
Yeah.
Because that was my first year, I had to live on campus. So my roommate used to he didn't travel. He was redshirt freshman. And he would always, like, I would come back from the road. He'd have like a wall stacked of just hella beer, just natty ice. And I'm like, bro, you 18 years. I'm like, you 18 years old. You can't drink. You can't. Door open. He don't care. He's like, you're 21. I just tell the RA this yours. I'm like, no.
Well, nigga, that's college in general, nigga.
No, but I'm like, as a football player, you gotta make sure that you don't put yourself in, because here I'm out of state. If I get kicked out of school, well, I'm going back home. Yeah. He can go back to his parents' house. My parents didn't have no house. So, that's pretty much how that was. But, it was cool because then halfway through the semester, he ended up moving with his friends in a house outside. So I had the whole dorm to myself.
Did you finish at that college?
Technically, yes, but I owe some money. So
what were you studying?
Communications.
Communication?
Yeah.
That's what you were studying at Laney also?
So they have a rule. I always say, you're a student first, athlete second.
Well, nigga, we know that's not true.
Right? Because that's why when you say stuff, you want to say the right thing. But they telling me you here to play ball. Right? That's what you here for. So
you weren't even going to class, huh?
I was basically, my first semester, they threw me into hella shit. I think I took like a fucking marketing class, a business. Like, I think I took a class on caves. Like, caves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was basket weaving. And like, this
some
shit,
like easy shit.
Yeah, this shit exists, right? Yeah. But I did have to take statistics. I did have to take English, which was cool. But, I did write my papers. But I did have some help.
Do you feel like you regret not taking the schooling part more serious?
Of course. I mean, when you look up and you've been removed from school for so long, and then you see the opportunity that they have out here, and you're like, man, I was that close, right? And you used to hear everybody talking about student loans and forgiveness. I'm like, damn, I didn't have to pay nothing.
Yeah.
They would basically get me. I was getting Pell Grant and scholarship. I was basically like being on unemployment now, how people on unemployment now, making way more money than they did. That's basically, I was getting paid to just drink alcohol and play ball. But that was college though, and it's Midwest. So it's like, it ain't nothing. I mean, you was in towns where they couldn't even serve alcohol on Sundays. It was like that. Like, I didn't know what townships and junctions were. And, all these highways and routes, and I didn't know. I just knew it was. I called it freeway a freeway.
So when you, when you finished there, what brought you back to California?
Shit, it was just time to go. It was time to go, man. It's like I felt like I wore out my welcome. Yeah. And then
no part of you wanted to stay on the East Coast or
it did,
or anything.
Because what really ended up happening, I ended up fathering 2 kids out there. So I tried to stay out there as long as possible. I had Jerry Springer moments, like, you the father, like, you like, where I know you from, old girl, be like, you remember at the frat party, be like, huh? It's like those moments.
So they were really your kids?
Yeah. So I got 2 kids. I got 2 kids out there.
Damn, I didn't know that.
14, about to be 14 and 15 this summer.
Okay.
Yeah. And they still live out there.
With the same chick?
Nah, hell no.
Two different
ones. Yeah, they good kids. Good kids. One is hooping real tough, and the other one is in a STEM program. Want to be an engineer, play football. Okay. So one just called me today, said he wanted to play football. Because he never played football. Now he wants to play football in high school. I say, play cornerback. Be like that Okuda kid.
So you still cool with the baby moms?
I mean, we were never really like friends like that, But
it's like a one night stand,
or like a month.
Right.
But then it's kind of, once you leave and then you not knowing that you got kids, you forget about it.
So you left You didn't find out you had kids out there until after you left?
I knew I had one kid. I tried to stay around for him.
Mm-hmm.
Shit just wasn't working out. So I'm like, I'm gonna go home. You know, we not together. You good? Okay, cool. Well, here's my number. I promise I'm not gonna be too far. Right. But she had her own stuff going on and everything. And then my second one, I didn't find out until I traveled back a few times, and then I ended up finding out about that. Took the little DNA test in the parking lot, bro. Came back 99.9%. That's your kid. I was like, whoa. Been paying child support ever since. You feel me?
Nigga out there slanging.
So, you know, so it was kind of like, okay, let me slow down. Let me try to make sure. And then, you know, then you realize like how much damage you did, and then you don't have nothing to show for it but kids. Like, you know, it's kind of like, damn, I didn't get my degree. I played sports, but, you know, sports is gone. Like when their coaches tell you, like, get your education, like you don't really understand that until you remove from the situation. And then you're like, dang, like I should have took more better advantage of that. So
how many kids do you have in total?
I have 4 kids.
4 kids?
Yeah, I got a 6-year-old and a 20-month-old. Yeah, with my wife. Yep. My wife. Been married going on 4 years November, been together 11. So at first I didn't believe in marriage. I thought it was just document.
So what changed?
Just life. It's
nigga, you still don't believe in that shit.
Nah, for real. Nah, it's crazy because I started really valuing the family aspect of it. You know, because you look around, you see other people like, you know, men, we're inspired by other men, right?
Yeah.
We see other men doing something, and it's like, yeah, we want to do it, but then it's like, how can I do it? So when you start asking the right questions and you start putting yourself in the right position, you know, that the whole marriage thing, like when you're working with old men, they're like, never get married. I'm still paying for it now. I gotta pay this. I gotta work till I'm 60 something just so I can, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get the ones that's real humble, and you see how like the wife is always right type deal, which is hard for Black men because we want to be right.
Yeah,
but it's their show.
How has fatherhood changed you?
Yeah, fatherhood has changed me a lot. Because then, like the same thing being in Ohio, I wasn't around those kids. They're mine. They look just like me.
Yeah.
But I'm not there every day. So that resentment that, you know, that you feel like, you just feel like this is a second chance. So you try to do everything right and just be there for your kids. And which is good because it's like they getting a better me. You know what I mean? That's why having kids when you're young, it's like you're young, you don't really know. And it's not like I was from Ohio, so it's not like I can come out there and see my family. I'm only literally going out there to see them, not the mamas, you know what I'm saying? Just those kids. So it's like, it'd be odd sometimes when you communicate with the parent, with the.
You never went out there and like slipped up and y'all fucked again or something like that? No.
Never again. Never again. You know, no, but it's not that. But, you know, because both of them end up getting married afterwards.
Okay.
So, you know, my kids were the eldest of their, you know, of their family, which had different dads. So it's kind
Have they met your other kids? Their other siblings?
They met the baby. I mean, my 6-year-old, yeah. But
so they've been out here to California?
My oldest has, the other one hasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but we usually go out there once or twice a year. My wife has been out there. Everybody met together. I had my whole little, you know, my little modern family moment. They all sang me happy birthday.
Where'd you meet your wife?
Facebook. Yeah, she was thirsty all in my DMs, man. You know, because, you know, when you live in that bachelor life, around what, 04, 05, I ended up moving to Vegas. So, you know, and then now I'm out there just, you know, doing what everybody does when they move to Vegas. That's from Oakland. Yeah. You know, I'm in the streets, you know, trying to make stuff work. And then I had an epiphany at that time, like, okay, is this the life that I really want to live? End up coming back, and it was September 1st, 2009. I came back, took the Greyhound, had a long thought, took the Greyhound, and that night we hung out, and we've been hanging out ever since.
Did you guys go through it like a nasty breakup at one point?
Hell yeah.
It was well well documented on Facebook. I remember that shit.
Yeah, man.
Niggas was in his feelings late at night.
I figured that, I mean, Facebook is a subscription, right? You subscribe to it, right? So if you press a like button or the add button, like, and I offer this stuff to you, like, I'm not just going to offer you the good. I'm going to offer you the bad too, right? So I'm like, okay, because, you got Facebook detectives. They're going to find out anyway. Right? But, it was nothing but, we were at that maybe like that 7-year mark or 6-year mark where it was kind of like, do you really want to do this? Do you really want, that? Mm-hmm. And we had different train of thought, like on how we wanted to live our life. So, as a man, you just kind of stepped back a little bit. Went to Vegas, kind of hung out. I wasn't doing nothing too crazy. It was really, I just kind of hooped and ran. And basically, I just put myself into like a little resort real quick. And then,
What did you guys break up for?
Just a difference in opinion. Yeah.
So she basically, is it true to say that she basically changed you for the better?
Yeah. I'm like, we changed each other, but we've grown together. Cause it's hard to find, like when you're an adult, you got to understand you've been living your life a certain way for you. Yeah. And then you end up being with another adult that's been living their life a certain way for them. Now it's not about trying to change each other. Now it's just trying to, it's a tug of war at times, but you just really want to build. You want to build, take both of your foundations and build on top of it. Yeah. So I don't want to change her for who she is. Yeah, I want to stop spending a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? I want to stop buying hella coffee that she don't drink. But, but it's a lot of stuff that she want me to change too, but we compromise. That's being adults, And when you're young, you don't really understand how to deal with adversity like that. But when you get older, you like, and then the kids get involved, and you're like, okay, you win. Live to fight another day.
So, you plan on having more kids?
Nah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I wanted, truth be told, I wanted 12 kids.
12?
I wanted my mom laugh at me all the time because she said, "You still want those 12 kids?" Like, exactly. No. I wanted 12 kids. But the thing is, I want 12 kids by 12 different women. I was in the hood. I was in the street. I thought I was going to be in the NFL. I just wanted hella kids. Right? Carry on the legacy.
Shit. I mean, 12 kids, one of them motherfuckers going to get famous.
That's what I'm saying. It was like the law.
Good ratio, you know what I'm saying?
So it was kind of like that. I wanted to be on one of them draft specials and shit. I have a whole family over there. None of them look the same. You got pink kids, Skeeters over here, Dubs. You got hella. So that was my goal. I don't know. I was a little different, man. I just wanted, because I love women. Like growing up, that's all I heard was get the women.
Was it hard for you to change that mentality? Like to be faithful and shit?
Demons, bro. Demons. It's real demons. Like, you sometimes it'll be like a whiff of perfume or something, or just a scene in the movie that you was just, before Netflix, you was, Blockbuster and chill and shit. You might get a scene from a movie, you're like, damn, like, I remember I was pounding such and such to this shit. You right there with your wife, be like, yeah. Like, to change that shit. Let's watch something else, babe. But these demons, but you gotta accept them. You gotta, you have to just move forward with them.
You just can't act on them shits.
Nah, but I put myself in position. My goal is to try not to put myself in the least amount of position as possible to do those type of things. So I go to work. I'll try to work as close to home as possible. So I don't have that time. Yeah. We have one car, right? Like she has my password. Everything. Like I try to make sure I don't do nothing wrong. Right.
And, saying that's true, but there's some girls just try to find anything. I'm saying.
If you give them that, you got to give it back. It's been times where I've been pushed up on, and I'll be like, oh yeah, have a nice day. But I always that, and then too when I talk to women. I always give them a story about my relationship. Like, oh yeah, my wife told me something like that. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, my wife has those shoes. Like when you feel them pressing on a little bit, you just throw her in there. They be like, I'm trying to look at you. And then it's crazy because she Japanese, so you know, especially with the sisters, like they'll see her and they be like, "How the fuck you with her?" You know, I get a lot of that. Now I get a lot of that, but you know,
I mean, shit, love is blind.
it is, man. Because I never had a girlfriend before, and then now I'm married with kids, and living this monogamous life.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't want that life, but you know what I'm saying?
It ain't for everybody.
Yeah, the damn sure ain't for everybody.
No, but I always tell her, I say, if you leave me, I'm never in a relationship again. It's hard work. It's hard work to go from not having to answer any questions and like nothing to just what do you want to eat? It's just every night it just gets a struggle. Like you figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll eat what I'll eat. You eat what you eat tonight. Is that cool? Great.
So you looking at your like Facebook and Instagram shit, I see that you used to dabble in a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So you used to do photography, correct?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Shit. I dabbled in it to begin with, just so I could just have an income hobby. So my father-in-law used to always tell me, you know, just get an income hobby, make something that you love doing, you know, profitable for you. So when I had my daughter, my 6-year-old, I just ended up buying a camera, and and my goal was to cut the middleman out. Like I want to take my pictures, I can take them anytime I want, anywhere I want. You know, so I always tried to cut the middleman out. So I just started learning and just put it in their bag. So now my daughter knows how to deal with camera. My wife knows how to do it. My stepson knows how to do it with camera. All my kids know they know, you know, everything there is to know about photography. At least I passed that down.
Did you, I mean, you don't do it anymore, right?
Nah, I just do it for myself. And then like, I call myself an uncle with a camera, right? Yeah. So I don't want to feel like I'm charging you. I don't really want to charge you. Yeah. I just really want to create these memories, help you create these memories for yourself. So really, I just shoot my friends. I shoot friends and family if they want to be shot. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you want to take this right here? So it just sometimes even with my daughter, like she'd be like, pictures again, Dad. You know, it's like that. It's like you have family that's into religion and you gotta go to church. Like, I gotta go to church on Thursday. You know, it's like that. So I still take pictures all the time.
So I see that you are getting into gardening.
Getting into it.
I mean, you got a bunch of plants and shit, right?
I interned at a landscaping for a city one time. I just got into landscaping, you know, to be closer to home. It paid. I was like, okay. But really I was just the muscle to take these big ass tree trunks and pull them into the lift truck or whatever. But then I ended up getting trained on, you know, soils and, you know, and natives and stuff like that. So with this COVID stuff going on, the only thing that was open was nurseries and Home Depot. Yeah. So we just, you know, found a positive way to spend the stimulus check. That's all.
What else are you passionate about?
I mean, I just try to build. You know, my whole goal is building right now. Just try to create my own, educating myself so that I can educate my kids. Yeah. So, you know, try to give them as much of a head start as possible. Yeah.
Now, did you watch the Last Dance?
I watched episodes all the way my last one was 8. So I haven't watched 9 and 10 yet.
No?
Nah.
What do you think about it so far?
I mean, it's cool. I mean,
were you a Jordan fan growing up?
You had to appreciate Jordan. You knew I knew what Jordan was about. He was about hard work. He was about winning. Right? But I don't know. I like Barkley. I used to love my favorite basketball player of all time is Dennis Rodman. And from the Spurs, when he started kicking and putting the towel over the head, I don't know what it was, but that was my favorite basketball player of all time. Dennis Rodman. I had my hair dyed in high school. I used to wear the Rodmans. My mom only goes, she said, do not pierce your eyebrow. I'm like, I'm not piercing my eyebrow. You see what I'm saying? So I used to have green hair, blonde hair, everything. Wow. Dennis Rodman was my guy. But you kind of knew business out of it, all that stuff. And Jordan was just, you know, he went to North Carolina. Come on, crying out loud. Like he wasn't no slouch coming out. Yeah. You know, He just had to face better teams coming up, and when it was his turn, and they made sure Pippen was there. You know, the ref was there. You know, but LeBron can never get that, man. They tried to, but he's just not that. He's just not that person.
Do you think black athletes? How can I say this? Do you think black athletes owe it to black people to speak up on issues?
Nah, if it's not in you, then it's just not in you.
No.
You know, we're all raised different. I mean, so it's kind of like when Jordan was dealing with what he's dealing with, he just like, hey, I'm out of it. Like, but LeBron is a different person, right?
Yeah.
He speaks up on everything. And some people don't like that he speaks up on everything, you know? And so you're never going to please both, you know, everybody. So if it's up to you, if you feel that it touches you in such a way, then, you know, so be it. You know, politics especially, like, you don't, that's your decision, right? But when it comes to like the violence and, you know, and the racial tension and, you know, police brutality, like you can, I feel like you, if you're not speaking out about it, then, you know, then that pretty much puts you into, I'm just here for my money type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But how can you, we don't have an opportunity to listen to everybody, right? We get on Twitter, it's 100,000 comments on there. We're not going to go through all of them, but let that celebrity say something, that's going to be the first thing that's up the top. So you see what I'm saying? So a lot of them just stay out of it because they can never shut that off. Because once they say something, it's theirs. Everybody knows it, right? So when they have to speak on it, they make sure that they, you know, they have to come correct.
Have you ever said anything or made a statement and regretted it?
I don't.
I'm not talking about just like talking. I'm talking about where you put it out in the world.
No.
And that people can like look up.
No, I don't regret anything. I mean, we make decisions on the time. So, you know, certain stuff that we all, you know, could wish that we could take back, but we can't. So how can you regret something that's, you know, that's etched in somebody's memory? Like that's how they're going to perceive you from now on until you do something else to, you know, to change that perception. So, you know, sometimes you can say stuff, you be up at late night on Facebook, you want to say something like,
yeah,
you know.
Did you hear about that? This happened recently. There was that white girl. She was rapping Lil Baby's song or something. And she said the word. She was rapping a song, but when you know we say nigga and shit, she said that too when she was rapping a song, and then like it went viral, and now everybody's like talking shit about her. Do you think?
I mean, we give the first thing that the Constitution is freedom of speech, right? First Amendment right. It's a word.
Yeah.
Right? Of course it oppressed us but we switched it around, and they listen to our music. They watch us under a microscope, right? So it's like if they are constantly streaming, and you get money, and now you tell them that they can't. Have you been to these concerts, these Kanye concerts and these other concerts?
Yeah.
We look like little specks in there. It's nothing but everybody else in there.
Especially Travis Scott concerts.
Man, you feel me? It's like, but that's the thing. So they feel like that they subscribe to the artist enough that they can say that word. So we gotta,
Yeah, first of all, I don't really give a fuck if because first of all, every white person says that shit behind closed doors. When a song comes on, they're not singing the lyrics, and then when that word comes, they just stop and then start rapping again when it's over. You know what I'm saying? See, they always say that shit.
See, we give it too much power. We give it too much power.
Who gives a fuck nowadays?
You see what I'm saying? Right now, like if you think about everything that's happening, you know, in society right now, we're the only ones still talking about what we owe, right?
Yeah.
Instead of changing it for the future, for the better. We're not changing anything in the future. Every hood that you go to, I guarantee you, they're going to know how to break down a blunt. They're going to know how to smoke. They're going to know how to do whatever, right? You see what I'm saying? They rapping, boom, right? Why can't we put that energy and effort into something else? Like it's is in San Francisco right now who making a killing just putting windows in tall buildings. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to show up on time. You got to make sure that you don't kill yourself and you don't kill your coworkers. But, you know, but if you high or if you can't pass a drug test,
Yeah.
you know, AC Transit is pretty much all of Oakland. The drivers is just, but most of them are women. Why? Because they can not smoke weed and drive a bus.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just the mentality.
And most of them are fat as shit too.
You try to sit down for 10 hours a day, you know what I'm saying, snacking on tortillas and shit.
So do you think, like you were saying, hoods, right? You go to every hood and shit, everything is relative. But why do you think black people feel like the only way out the hood is sports or
Entertainment.
like or entertainment or rapping? How come they don't think like, oh, math, science, chemistry, whatever?
Because it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask any kid right now what's their favorite subject, they're gonna tell you art, history, you know, social studies, right? But when it comes to the two main subjects that you need is math, critical thinking, and English comprehension. So if you can read a book and comprehend it, you can teach yourself anything, right? And then if you're good at math, that means you're good at problem solving. So why do you think we don't like it? It's because it just takes that little bit of effort. And it's our parents, because our parents don't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most of these other parents, they like think about like the average white person. The dad works, the mom stays at home, but mom is really, you know, a librarian or, you know, was trying to be a school teacher. So she teaches her kids. So by the time they go to school, they already know all the answers because mom is already, and then the way that the parents talk, they already speak that English language, right? So that's it.
Yeah, I do think it's more on the parents that we think black people think this way, because I'm gonna give you a scenario. So let's say you have a son, right?
Yeah.
There's a black family and then there's a white family. They both have a son. As soon as that kid is born on the black side, they're gonna put a basketball in his hand or football in his hand. They're gonna put him in on a team or whatever. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, you got to make the high school team, blah blah blah. White kid, same son, same household. They're gonna put that kid in like band, music classes, fucking I don't know, like acting, thespian or some shit. Yeah. So I do think it's the parents. Parents need to start putting their, like, sports is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it's so popular because it's quick. Like, it's so quick to fucking, it's quick and it's easy because, you know what I mean, black people, we're, believe it or not, I mean, it's just a scientific fact that we're fucking bigger, we're stronger, faster, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we obviously make better athletes.
Yeah. But we make better workers too. So think about slavery in general. Slavery was the first form of technology for white people. They found out that they can do less work and get more accomplished if they have these strong people that don't really speak this language. If we can turn them into animals and just teach them one thing, basically that's your iPhone. If every time you press a part on the screen, it's going to do one thing. So that's the slave mentality. That's what they tell you. If you look at technology, it's just, you know, it's a slave, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they've done, right? And it's basically been the same way since then. But look, now when you think about just projects and suburbs, when you're in the projects, you live up. You look outside, maybe a little place to walk, maybe a basketball court. You see what I'm saying? A little park bench. Suburbs, you look outside, driveway, but guess what's right there? A garage. Most of the time, baby boomers, what they had garages with tools in it. So now they just teaching their kids on a Saturday, ride their little big wheel outside, but dad's out there working on the car. You see what I'm saying? So now at least they even know what the basic tools are, right?
Yeah.
So now they can at least go and fix somebody else's bike or be a handyman and make some money. But what we gonna do? We just gonna, ask somebody else to give me a job at the local store or somewhere because we don't know how to do any of this stuff. And it's discouraging.
And you rarely see a park in the suburb, believe it or not.
You know what I'm saying? If it is, it's behind a whole bunch of trees and it's a community center on top of it.
But their park, I mean, if they have a park in the suburb, it's not like a park like in the hood. Parks in the hood, basketball courts, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically it.
Yeah.
Parks in the suburbs,
jungle gyms.
Not even that. They'll probably it's just like a field of grass and a bench.
They can kite and walk and trails.
Picnics and shit.
Yeah.
So it's.
But that's what, our mentality. We're not trained to see those things. We're not trained to understand, that divide. We trained to say, look at our skin and say, this skin is different than yours. Yeah, when we've been taught to marginalize everything that we see. We put everything in a box. Yeah. So when you look at a car, you say, okay, that car is that. When you look at a plate of food, you're like, oh, that place is that. When you look at a girl with a big booty, you're like, yeah, okay, that booty is that, right? But now you look up, remember, white girls didn't have no ass. I mean, you look at a lot of these senoritas too. They mamas don't have no ass, right? They got this ass in the front, but they don't have it in the back. But their daughters do. You see what I'm saying? So like everybody is now starting to get that, that Kim Kardashian. So now it's like it sucks because Black woman is smart as hell, right? They're the ones driven. I see so many Black women, college kids doing the whole grind, right? Yeah. Have them do it, and they get up there, and now they got to pull the Black man up because we're not there with him. See what I mean? Yeah. We don't have no skill, no trade, no education, no nothing. And then, now what they do, now that's pretty much, they raising bitter Black men because now the kids are listening to them talk to their friends about how these nothing ass niggas ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? So.
Why do you think so many athletes have white wives?
Availability. Yeah, because when you want to go back to the hood, but you can't. Because now when you go back to the hood, you're going to have to either give or they're going to take. You know what I'm saying? Then you don't trust the girls because they didn't been around the block. The baddest one now didn't been with every person that had money in the hood. Yeah. So if you didn't build with one, already come in with one, it's kind of hard to go back. So now this white woman gets you into the building, right? Understands how your money works. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff, take care. And it's just humbling, right? It's no arguments. You're not being called nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're not, none of that. You're not being belittled. Like being in an interracial relationship, you don't get the same, you get a different level of respect because she knows she's different and you know you're different and she's different. So y'all respect each other on that level. Yeah. But if you've been through the same struggle that I've been through, as soon as adversity hit, we're going to both go to the same level. We're going to say, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck you, bitch. Oh, it's over. I'm out of here. Go fuck that bitch around the corner then. I know you like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen it so many times. You know what I'm saying? So when the white women, they like, no, it's okay. Just go to Vegas with your friends. They're like, I know. I'll go to my mom's, like they'll do stuff like that, but it's a different level the way that they talk to you. Not saying that all of them are, but you do have some sisters who understands it, who's been coerced in it, so they understand it, but it's just, it's availability at that time too, because a lot of sisters ain't there. They're not at these uppity clubs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not, pleasing you orally like on first nights. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it is just availability. Like you basically want to get your rocks off and then it kind of just goes from there. And then you start realizing how much you got in common. And then it's like, you're like, hold on, you like Tupac too? Like they start rapping the whole shit verbatim because they didn't have the CD or tape, depending on how you are, 8-track, whatever.
Yeah. Do you think, or why do you think so many like black athletes end up being like broke and shit after their career is over?
Because when you have money, like money, remember when I had that financial aid, I had that little 10 bands.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got money.
Mm-hmm.
I had 10,000. I didn't know what 10,000 was. I just know I still had money in my pocket after I finished giving, right? But I didn't make it back. So when you give, you're not making it back. As soon as that career over, now you didn't bought somebody a house that you've been paying the note on. You know what I'm saying? You didn't, you know what I'm saying, got this, paying all this money. And child support, it is cheaper to keep her. Child support takes a lot of our money. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of that is number one. You don't get that back. On paper, you made X amount of money because they getting that shit after taxes. So she get a bump in hers, but she's still on Section 8 or whatever because...
See, that's why you should, always be cool with your BM.
It's impossible.
Because if you have a cool BM, you treat that girl like she's... Even though y'all not together, most girls won't even put you on child support.
See, some of it is not even about the girl. Some of it is about the situation the girl's in. See what I'm saying? Well, if you got enough kids and you don't have enough money to put them in daycare by yourself, you ask the state to help you with daycare, guess what? They're going to ask where the daddy is. See what I'm saying?
So that's what they do?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people on child support because they daddy because the
state enforced
it, right? Then you have some people who just like because you didn't ran off with with her, I'm never gonna let that settle, and I know how much money you get, and then today you come over and you acting funny about your money, or you want to smash, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so I can get the money. It's all different type of scenarios. So they're like, nah, we just gonna do this by the book, or you don't bring this kid back on time, like you trying to keep them and hold them because it's a whole bunch of scenarios. But yeah,
yeah, that's one of the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? I haven't crossed that bridge yet.
I mean, having kids is a blessing. Don't get me wrong; they are a blessing, right? But they are. You know what I'm saying? It's the most expensive investment you will ever make in your life. Right. And in my opinion, like from my experience, it's always better to have multiple than to have one. Because
multiple kids?
Multiple kids. If you can have multiple with the same person, kudos, that's the way you do it. Because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to teach responsibility to both of them. One's going to have it from a bigger brother, big sibling perspective. One's going to have it from younger. They're going to teach them sacrifice. They're going to teach them how to share just in general, right? One's going to crawl faster. One's going to, grow up fast. It's just stuff like that. And then, you can always have them play together. So now you don't have to just be running around trying to find play dates and do all this other stuff. You can just have your family with you and y'all do it that way.
Was it your intention to have your two most recent kids that quickly, so there won't be a big age gap between the two?
You know what's crazy? Me and my wife, we tried a little, maybe like about 2 years after we had our daughter, and it didn't happen. And we just kind of just left it alone. But then we started going to Disneyland. I'm gonna tell you straight up. We started going to Disneyland. We started going to Disneyland. We was just having fun, just stuff. Life was just, we just both were vibing real well. And
so, what you started having sex more, or
we
was
we
Disneyland
were already
just give a little
sex? But it was just weird, like you know how your energy just different. When you just not thinking, like when you trying to make something work, you're like, I'm trying to make it work. You banging it, like you don't supposed to do that. And then all of a sudden you just turn it a certain way. You like, oh, let me just put my baby over here. Let me just put this on top. Maybe this plant will grow up here. I'll just put it. And you go over, you sing to it. And all of a sudden it's just started. And that's pretty much what happened. So we were blessed with a baby boy, and he's, he's in there. He's over there. And he's super funny.
Are you what type of father? Are you like a disciplinarian?
I'm both. Because my wife isn't a disciplinarian at all. Yeah, so I have to be disciplinary, and then I have to be like the big teddy bear at the same time. Because at the same time, when you think about it, I'm the first Black person that my daughter really see. My dad's not here. My brothers, they all around the Bay Area. So every day she come home, my daughter sees me. So I'm trying to make sure that she understands that There's compassion, there's love, you know, in all colors. She called herself tan. She don't even, I've never had the conversation with her about
She doesn't say I'm black?
No, she said she just looked at her because her skin color is tan, right?
Does she know she's black?
She knows that her daddy is African American. That's what she called me, right? Mm-hmm. And she knows the story. She started kindergarten, so now she's starting to learn like Martin Luther King, you know, stuff like that. So now the conversation is starting to happen. But she would draw me. She, you know how you get those Ken dolls, the Barbies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would, any black doll that she gets that's a man, she call it Daddy Ken or Daddy something. So so you see what I'm saying? So she knows that I'm black. She knows that, and she knows that she is not Japanese fully, you know what I'm saying? So so we just kind of, my way of teaching is, I don't even want her to choose. I just want her to be her. And then when the conversation comes about, then we'll have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because you try to tell them early in life, then she might not understand it right now. So I'm not even trying to get her head wrapped around, you know, the left and the right. I just want her to just have fun and be a kid.
Have you heard about that Dwayne Wade shit with his son?
Yeah.
So for the listeners who don't know about this story, Dwayne Wade has a son, and I think he is, how old is this nigga? He's like
12 or 13 or something like that.
Yeah, he's young as fuck. And basically, his son. Now, mind you, this kid is very young. He's like 12 years old.
Probably was 11 when it really started.
he considers himself, I think, to be a woman or something like that, and transgender basically. And he came out as he said I'm not a man anymore. I'm a girl. And he changed his name. I forgot what he changed his name to. But there was a big backlash in the media basically saying that kid is too young to even know. You know what I'm saying? To even know that. You know what I'm saying? Because his brain, first of all, his brain is not developed yet. Mm-hmm. So how can you expect a kid that young? And then what if he turns like 18 and then his whole mind changes? So Boosie was like, yeah, that's Lil Boosie was like, no, don't fucking
Boosie hella funny.
Don't do a sex change on that kid because he's too fucking young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone was like talking shit about Boosie because he said that. But I mean, I'm 100% what's your opinion on that?
I agree with it because it's hard. You got to put yourself in Dwayne Wade's shoes. He's a public figure, right? Okay. So he's been living his life publicly for a long time.
Well, fuck that. Fuck Dwayne. How would you handle that situation?
So me handling the situation,
if it was your kid, your son.
We not having it. You see what I'm saying? Like we gonna talk this out a little bit more. I'm gonna be over there talking to you the whole time. Like I'm not gonna give my kid no fellatio like Boosie did and go force him. But at the same time, we're gonna have these conversations because. So when
you say conversation, are you going to be like, try to be like, no, you're a man, you're a boy.
You never want to force a kid to think either way. You want to let them try to give them as much information so that they can decide for themselves, right? That kid only knows what's around them and what they see on social media. So now we have a bigger problem when it comes to raising kids because we're not raising our kids with just our way of thought. Mm-hmm. They're getting sidetracked by social media, their friends, like they can get on their phones, tablets, anything and search whatever, right? If they don't have restrictions on you, do you think that Dwayne Wade's child had restrictions on theirs? No, he's probably a smart kid, right? Yeah. Did his homework, had his tutor, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you can go in there and you dancing, you got the girls, you over here shake your butt a certain way. You like, oh, and this might be better for you. He might resonate with that at the time. Mm-hmm. Prime example, I have a friend, my family, maybe about a year ago, came out, the girl said, the daughter said that she was lesbian. She was 14 years old.
Man, that's not a big deal.
Right? But see, she said she was lesbian. But we like, how you a lesbian? You ain't never experienced anything else yet.
Yeah.
So don't say you're lesbian. Just, if you don't like men right now, let that be your choice. Mm-hmm. But don't go out and say you're lesbian. right? Because you don't know what that is, right? I done been with hella lesbians in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And they married with kids right now. You see what I'm saying? Because these are choices you make, right? So to this day right now, she's pregnant. They thought at the whole time, they thought she was lesbian. Now she's pregnant at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Because now she experienced that man for the first time. Now she's not a lesbian no more. See what I'm saying?
I mean, well, that's besides the point. I mean, the real problem is she's pregnant at 15.
She's pregnant at 15. So it's like, I could be a lesbian or I can have kids. See, who knows? She might go back to being lesbian, you know, later on in life. But the thing is that as adults, we've already walked that path. We know what puberty meant to us. We know what high school felt like. You know, all we can do is try to give our kids as much information as possible. So with Dwayne Wade's kid, of course, is he there all the time? You would think not, right? He just got him like a couple of years ago from the custody battle. So, you know, now the kid's in LA, right? Right? In Miami, wherever you want. I think they're in LA, right?
Gosh, I think so.
So you see what I'm saying? So now you want Hollywood Hills. You want, you know what I'm saying? And now it's different type of stuff that happens over there. This is suburbia to the 10th power. Because you come with money, you come with help, you come with everything.
As Magic Johnson's son.
Snap fingers and shit happens, right? And you see Magic Johnson's son, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, think about this. Like that LBG, that alphabet movement hit hard. And then but trying to explain this shit to kids, when you explain stuff to kids, they can only give you a yes or no, a right or wrong. They can only go left or right. They don't know how to reason yet. They don't know how to just tread it until they figure it out down the line. They like, are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? Yeah. What do you want to eat? Mac and cheese? No, you should get some vegetables on that. No, I just want macaroni. You know, like that's what they want. When they see something, that's what they want.
Yeah.
So, you know, but being Dwayne Wade, you can't just be over there like, no, you gonna do this, do that. Because guess what that kid gonna do? Gonna get on Twitter, go get on Instagram, you know, record a conversation. Man, this man legacy down the line. Now the alphabet people is after him. He can't, you know. So it's different dealing with him when being in his shoes because you can't. He's on very thin ice in my opinion.
So basically, what I'm hearing is, if this was your child, the way you would handle it is you would talk to the kid first before even
first off
make them know what
first off
they are.
Getting no sex
basically what they're saying.
18. Right. That's me. I'm not paying for shit until you're 18. Like, and then I'm not even paying for it. If you want to get a sex tank, you got to pay for it yourself because that's your choice. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna spend my money to do something. I already gave you something organically, naturally. You know what I'm saying, to what you are. If you choose to do something else, that's on you. That's why, you know, because I feel like if a kid can come out at 12 and say that they're gay or they're, you know, whatever, then they should be able to vote. They should be able to drive. They should be able to do a whole bunch of shit because they making adult decisions. You see what I'm saying? But like that is like your sex. Either you when you're born with something, you have no choice. That's what you come with.
Yeah.
That's your hardware, right? Your software in your brain is going to always be manipulated. But when you start altering hardware, that is a whole nother, you know, thing that you're dealing with. So as a kid, like, no, when you become an adult, and I know your software is up to date, you got all the updates, like then you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna cuss you out and beat your ass and, you know, tell you all and lock you in a room and you know all these other, you know, old school shit people we talk about now. I don't even spank my kid. She talks shit too. She talks so much shit. I don't even spank her. But
do you allow your children to cuss?
Nah. She knows curse words. I curse a lot. My number one thing right now is when I'm driving. I never had road rage before, but for some reason, people, these Priuses and these Subarus, they just tend to go
everywhere.
They just tend to go 5 miles per hour in a 40, and it's like, why'd you make that such a wide turn? I'm like, what the fuck? Some dumbass.
So you have a daughter, right? Are you in fear of when she becomes a teenager?
Nah.
No?
These kids, I mean, all I could do is try to give her as much advice as possible. And then me, as a man, try my hardest to love her mom as much as possible so she can know what love looks like, feels like.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty much why I'm at home. If I'm not at work, I'm at home. Right? When I'm at home, when I come home, I walk in the door, I give everybody kisses and hugs. I don't care if mom just made me mad. She gonna get a kiss. Take this kiss. Shut up. You see what I'm saying? But because they don't know. So when she gets older, I feel like I'm gonna just be dropping her so many gems. She's gonna have so many gems. I'm just dropping every time I get, every chance I get.
What do you want to mold your daughter into?
I just want her to be her best self. That's it. These are my number one things, right? English, math. Just give me those two. I said, if you give me English and math, you can do whatever you want. If you give me A's in English and math, because that's all I want you to learn. Because everything else is an elective.
Yeah.
Just being able to communicate and critical think, you will be fine in this world. I don't care if you can draw. I don't care if you can freaking know every state. I don't give a shit about none of that. I just want you to be able to read and say, okay, S after T is T. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And give me and understand what it means. That's all I care about.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the point where I let my guests basically promote themselves. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give out your Instagram to the people or email or whatever, however you want to, your Facebook or whatever, so people can get in contact with you or know where to follow you after they hear this conversation.
Man, I look at it. You don't have to follow me. You can just come snoop on my page. It's all good. But it's Jino. Jino Jino is my
Jino Jino.
Jino Jino. Because everybody
spell that, nigga.
JUNO That's me. That on Instagram. You're gonna see exactly what I'm going through. Pretty much I just give you all my family, I give you all of me. So I'm just an average dude, uncle with a camera, you know, your neighborhood friendly janitor, you know, like whatever you like, I'm just a regular dude, man. So yeah.
No, I mean that's the point of Everyday Celebrity podcast, is to interview ordinary niggas in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them about their upbringing, their life, because you never know. When you talk to somebody, you never know what they went through in their earlier days. They might have an extraordinary fucking background of life. You know what I'm saying? So, Jino, thanks for coming on Everyday Celebrity Podcast.
Appreciate it, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? And you got any last words?
Oh man, it's everybody just stay safe out there. Cover your face, I guess.
This nigga said that with no mask on.
Social distancing, you know. But just stay safe and try to enjoy every bit of your family, every bit of time you have on this earth. That's all I can tell.
All right, that's Everyday Celebrity. We are out. You.